It was important that Carmel Road was the main venue due to the massive support given during honorary guest Brother Robert King's 2002 UK tour. I will introduce him after my poem. Tonight's historical event is a partnership between Theatre of Colour, Help Free the Angola Free, Lapierre P&D, and the West Indian Overseas Community Centre, YOCC. Many thanks to Samantha and Shirley Lapierre for their positive response to enabling the screening and to their commitment to the project. Would you please give them a big round of applause? In the Land of the Free is a unique documentary that raises awareness of the ongoing injustice suffered by brothers Albert Woodcock and Herman Wallace and the humane conditions in the US prison system. A question and answer discussion will follow the screening. The first human beings to inherit land in Australia were Aboriginal people who named the sky, the birds, the trees, the rivers, and everything held sacred in their First Nation homeland. When the British colonialists unleashed convicts, criminals, cutthroats, bounty hunters, mercenaries, soldiers of a misfortune, gold mining thieves. Al-Charinga, dreamtime, was no more. Assimilation, humiliation, annihilation, stolen land, stolen children, stolen lives, stolen identities, stolen natural resources, stolen wealth. The pride of Aboriginal manhood incarcerated, the glory of Aboriginal womanhood raped, abused, traumatised children separated from their homeland, and so, run, Kathy, run. Run with all your might. You're running for First Nation gold, a dream still in sight. Run, Kathy, run. Your people's human rights. Chasing down Olympic gold, a dream still in sight. The dream still in sight. Chasing down Olympic gold. Kathy Nation, Kathy First Nation, Kathy Freedom. The dream is still. Thank you. For Albert Woodcock and Wallace and Herman Wallace, freedom is still very much inside, especially with Brother Robert King spearheading the Angola Free campaign. There are many, most Angola Free campaigners know of his commitment and dedication to freeing his two comrades. And there are many, many examples that we could make. The one I'd like to share is that going down to Angola prison with a group of 50 or so people to protest about the conditions. And again, Robert King spearheaded that, knowing that if he went on to the prison environment, he could be re-elected after 29 years in solitary confinement. That makes him not only a very inspirational speaker, but an extraordinary brother. Could you please go standing?
here to read this statement by Albert Fox, one of the persons who was in Angola, really with Mr. King. Greetings from the belly of the beast. Since I'm in prison and unable to view this film personally, the letters I have received have been my eyes and heart and soul. I thank each and every person who has taken the time to express solidarity and outrage at the injustice that Herman, King, and myself have endured over the past 38 years in solitary confinement here in America's prison. The flames, such as in the land of the free, are pebbles dropped in a body of water. They cause ripples that change the body of water forever. America, like the state, proudly and falsely that there are no political prisoners in American prisons. That's a lie, and I beg to differ. Though this flame is a pebble of justice that has been dropped in the water of the world. All power to the people. Albert Woodfox.
Okay, thank you. You may applaud that. So, I'm sure that it's very thought-provoking watching that documentary. So, through these questions, So, a big round of applause for Bill.
Greetings. I greet you in the name of love, peace, equality, justice, and all the positiveness that we can bring to the front in this struggle as we face unendless struggles in this what we call our humanity. And it's not a struggle for wealth, it's not a struggle for power, it's a struggle for your soul. And so when we look at life, how it unfolds in front of our eyes, we have to recognize the battle that we're in. And it's not a battle against flesh and blood. It's a battle against principalities and spiritual wickedness in high and low. So if we forget what the landscape is and what the type of battle that we're in, we will lose the war, because then we will lose our soul. How easy they would forget 100 years of misery and death. How easy they would forget the blood of those that fuel these engines of industrialization, laying the foundation for this dispensation. How easy they would forget the lives, the death, the chains, the pain with no gain. How easy they would forget the want and oppression, the cultural annihilation of endless generations of Africans. How easy they would forget the rape, the pillage, the plunder, the murder on which they built their empire. How easy they would forget that the plight of Africans in Africa and in the diaspora is the byproduct of their actions, of hundreds of years of exploitation, overt and covert acts of destabilization. How easy they would forget the trillions owed to the millions that work the mines and plantations with nothing to gain for their generations. And reparation for the African is a dirty word. And now this mystery. Is it a possibility that those who created, nurtured, preserved, sustained, and profited from poverty would now make it history? Thank you.
I want to pose a question to you, because I think the one thing that struck me was one comment that certainly reached me in a very, very spiritually practical way. The soul cry is a deep cry. And I know each of you will have a different emotional place as a result of what you've just seen. And I wanted to know as a question how much you felt the American experience is any different to the British experience. So it's always my question to you, to the question to the panel, of whom you know with Tina, and you know with Robert, you know with Nina. I'm going on a first name basis because I think that's how brothers and sisters are best able to have a natural, honest, open, frank discussion.
So I actually think, obviously, the miscarriage of justice and the whole political element of this case is different. But I think, in my experience, these miscarriages of justice and cruel, unusual punishment still goes on to this day.
Robert, a common injustice encountered and shared by
all? Thank you very much, and thank you all for coming. You know, I think this case, I hope I answered the question. I think our case, the movie you saw, in the case of the Angola 3 is typical in America. It is, you know, we were fortunate to, you know, have our case, so to speak, in the spotlight, to get the focus on our case. But our case, again, is just a catalyst, you know, to what is going on. And there is a common, you know, injustice. You know, don't get me wrong. I don't want to give you or anyone else the idea, you know, that, you know, I want to trash or irresponsibly criticize America. But I want to put America in perspective. I can't do it in a half an hour. We have a half hour here, but I'll do my best. And I'd rather stand up. I'm sorry, I don't mean to kind of look down on you, because I can see my voice could go kind of a little boom over the audience a little bit. And I know this is a panel and so forth, but we have a short period of time, and I just want to make some points. First of all, I would like to say, you saw the movie, you saw the documentary. You hear him speak of procedure when they're dealing with a man or a woman or a human being life. Speaking of legal procedures, you know, my focus and our focus, and I think the focus of all of us should be, and I know this will be my focus, and that focus has to be on the fact that this case is one of a human rights violation. If there ever was a case, and there are many, this case violates the essence of human rights. All evidence in this case has been undermined with regards to the guilt of Herman and Albert, but nevertheless, they remain incarcerated. And we want to kind of change people's mindset about legality. We live in a system, we live in a construct in America, consequently around the world, where legality becomes the god of the society. If it's legal, it is deemed morally and holy. It almost is something that was deified by God. It has been deified and made holy. The concept of legality. But legality is just what it is, a precept, a construct. It was legal to own slaves in America. That was it was legal. It wasn't until the people decided to take a moral and saw it as being morally reprehensible that slavery underwent a transformation. I didn't say slavery was ever abolished. I don't never tell anyone slavery was abolished, because slavery never was abolished. It was taken from the plantation and placed on a prison plan. You know, and this is where we are today, on a prison plan. Some people will try to quote you the 13th Amendment to try to tell you all, you know, all they say is just the slavery, no involuntary servitude.